Hi, this is Wes Davis, ACE Quality Assured Program, looking at Revision 8 to the Energy Star Certified Homes Program, specifically the HVAC Commissioning Checklist. A quick overview is a look at the information flow changes and then digging into some specific changes to the commissioning checklist. To talk about the changes to information flow, let's look at what was the case. In the past, there was one checklist, and when there was one company that did the design and the installation, things were fine. However, if there were two companies, one that did the design, one that did the installation, there could be problems. So Energy Star split the checklist. The designer can complete their checklist, submit that to the rater, and not hold up the rating. And the installing company, which that checklist, that commissioning checklist, is the one we're going to discuss at length today, can be completed when the HVAC system is ready for startup. Now, this change has the following impact. When the installing contractor completes their commissioning checklist, they hold on to it. And that's all they have to do at this time. Now, the builder, the rater, or the QA program may ask for it, and you must provide it. But it is not required that you submit that as a part of the process. So you want to keep a copy of your commissioning checklist and that design checklist in your files. This is the commissioning checklist we're going to be talking about. If you want to download a copy, you can go to energystar.gov, then click on New Homes, and you'll see a box for partner resources. Click on that and then follow that to program requirements, and you'll see the checklist listed there. So let's start with some of the introductory instructions that have been modified. Two things that jump out to me were that the installing contractor is responsible for maintaining not only a copy of their checklist, but that designer's checklist. You can get a copy of that from the builder or the designer, along with the duct layout or floor plan and other specs. So keep a copy of your commissioning checklist and that design checklist. And a reminder, the rater is going to be checking for the installed equipment, comparing that to what the designer specified. And if there's a change, that has to be approved by the designer. The next portion of the checklist, the commissioning overview, captures a lot of administrative data. One of the things was that designer's checklist collected. There's going to be some information requested from that checklist, like which area of the house is this serve, and some house plan information. And for companies that were design build contractors, they did both the design and the installation. This information will be repetitive. For companies that were install only, this information will be new. And so that's why it's very important you collect that designer's checklist. All the information that you need to complete this section is on that checklist. From the new to the familiar, the refrigerant charge section is, as far as I can tell, completely the same. Same measurements, same data to be collected. Skipping down to the indoor HVAC fan airflow section, you'll see that this has been expanded a bit for whether you are a design build firm or an install only firm. It's very important that an installer understands what was expected of this system regarding airflow. Too many times this is overlooked or not completely understood, and so this portion of the checklist seeks to capture that the installer does understand what the designer was aiming for and achieves that in the field. So you'll see a lot of comparisons or a lot of requests for what was the design factor and then what was the measured factor. So looking at the third bullet there, what was the measured versus the design static pressure? And then the last bullet, the measured versus the design airflow. So a lot of comparison there. And then the two previous bullets, there's some expanded information there, asking about what mode the fan was in when you tested it, and the location of the static pressure ports. You've got some options there that help provide some clarity. The final portion of the checklist deals with air balancing, and when that task is performed, you need to follow the approved procedures and meet the specified tolerances. These are laid out in the ACA 5 QI standard or the QI 5 standard, and you can download a free PDF copy at www.acca.org/quality. See the whole list of quality installation standard or quality standards there. Last note, air balancing is not required. I don't know how you do a quality installation without air balancing, but at this time it is not required. In summary, from revision 7 to revision 8, I think you'll see essentially the same information. There was an expanded airflow aspect, but for the information flow, instead of submitting your checklist to the rater, you simply have to maintain a file of that commissioning checklist along with the design checklist. And of course, make that available on request from the builder, the rater, or the QA program. This has been another quick overview of the checklist. If you have specific questions, feel free to give us a ring or shoot us an email. But we thank you for your time.